Hey guys, Eric here from OneStarGuitarLessons.com. Come back at you with another quick lesson, but in technique. So today I'm going to give you 3 reasons why you might be having trouble with the bar chord and 3 tips on how to really get better at them when we come back. Alright, so we're just going to give you a close-up of where we're at here with the guitar. If you've played bar chords before in the past, you may have had trouble with chords such as F. A lot of people have trouble in the beginning because they're really not sure what's really going on there and how to really master the technique. But first off, like I said, I want to give you 3 reasons why you might be having trouble. Number 1, the action on your guitar might be high. What I mean by that is, if you look at the guitar, it's the distance between the strings and the fretboard. So if you find that that's too high, you're going to be pressing down harder. And if you're pressing down harder, you're really going to put a lot of stress on those fingers and really have trouble getting a good sound out of the chord. So if your strings are too high, or they say if the action is too high, then you're going to have a lot of trouble. The second one being technique. Your technique is not, maybe you formed some habits that aren't working out for you. And what happens is a lot of people that give up like right away as soon as they say, well, I can't do this, and they'll just find another way, either to play in another key or a different type of chord, or a different way of playing the chord. So your technique definitely is a key player. So the action on the guitar, the technique is not good, and the other part is just making sure that the neck size, if the neck size is too wide, you're really going to have a lot of trouble forming chords, not just bar chords, but just forming chords. So you want to make sure that the neck size works out for your hand, okay, your hand shape, and making those chord shapes with your fingers. So those 3 things right there might be giving you trouble. Now, 3 tips that might help out your playing and mastering the bar chords we'll talk about here. Number 1 being the placement of the finger, your index finger, when you're making the chord. So a lot of people in the beginning don't always go right up to the fret. That could be part of the problem right there. You want to make sure you're like right on the fret. So right on the 2nd fret. Now, my thumb is positioned in the back, okay? My thumb is positioned in the back, and I always say it kind of anchors with that first finger. So they should be close, like they're pinching through, okay? So again, I'm using the flat surface of my finger, which is going to be the bonier side, okay? The bonier side of your finger. If you use the front side, it's still kind of soft, and you're not going to be able to hit down everything. It's just the way the finger is made. Now you want to avoid your finger going on an angle. I see this a lot where somebody will take their first finger and it will end up like this. And what happens is you start losing control of the chord, okay? So if I'm trying to play a bar chord, for instance, and this finger's like on an angle, it's impossible for me to get a good sound out of that bar chord. So with that being said, avoid this. Avoid your thumb coming around at all, because even if your thumb comes around, you're not going to have control. So it is important, that placement there between the thumb and also where your first finger is. Now if you play a chord like this, and you find you can't get those last notes, the problem is the pressure. It's not even. So you have to figure out where you get that balance. So the first part of the tip being the flat surface of your finger. The second one being your thumb position in the middle. Okay, your thumb position in back. So I always think of my thumb as sort of an anchor. Alright, so to help out the tension and create more of an even tension, which is creating even pressure through, okay, this is what's going on. So if I let the guitar go, right, I'm letting it go, you can see that there's some play there. I'm just bringing it back. That push and pull feel, okay? So by doing that, is one of the techniques that'll help you out. So bar chords are important because you can use them as movable chords. And what I just mean by that is I can take an F here, I can play a G here, I can play an A here. It really helps me to position a different chord on a different fret and still keep the same shape. And that's really important to note about a bar chord because at some point you might actually be using a bar chord. So I hope those tips helped out. I hope those 3 reasons why you might be having trouble helped out. And again, the 3 tips to help master them.